Okay, April 16th, 1789. George Washington, the newly elected president, leaves his home in Mount Vernon, Virginia, and travels to New York City to be inaugurated as the first president of the United States. Took him about 8 days to travel by horse, the carriage, to get to New York. Stopped along the way, lots of parades and lots of festivals as he went from city to city. Um, so he was installed in New York City, that was the capital of the United States, for about a year. And then the capital in 1790 moved to Philadelphia, where it was there for 10 years before ultimately moving to Washington, D.C. In 1800. So actually after Washington's death. Uh, Washington was very involved in the selection of the site for Washington, D.C., for the capital city, and helped with surveying it, appointed the surveyor, and helped negotiate terms, because it ended up being that Maryland and Virginia both gave up some land to create a separate 10 square mile area that would not be under jurisdiction of any state. That was the concern with leaving it in Philadelphia or New York. It was in the capital city would then be under the jurisdiction of a state, theoretically. So eventually it was moved to Washington, D.C. But this wouldn't happen till 1800, and then ultimately Virginia would withdraw their land from the plans in the battles between the over slavery in the 1840s, and so that's why if you look at the Washington D.C. map, it's square on one side and then the river on the other side, and that's because Virginia pulled their land back. So George Washington, again, April 16th, leaves Mount Vernon. So he's sworn in the end of April as the first president of the United States. That's late. Should have been in March, but because it took so long to organize elections after the Constitution was signed, the elections were held late. They weren't held till January of 1789 instead of 1788. So he was installed later than usual. He actually did not serve a full 4-year term. He was about 3 years, 11 months in his first term, 4 years in his second term. So that's all right for today. George Washington leaves Mount Vernon and heads to New York City to be installed as first president. I will see you tomorrow.